Welcome to Royal Secret. Viewers around the world, hold on to your seats, because what just happened in the heart of Sweden's royal palace is something no one saw coming. The cameras were rolling, the spotlight was elsewhere, and then, in walked a royal who managed to steal the entire show. And it wasn't the Queen. It wasn't even the Crown Princess. It was a young royal who's been quietly growing up before our eyes, until now. Princess Estelle, the future Queen of Sweden, just changed everything with one breathtaking move that left the media, the public, and even foreign royals utterly speechless. What did she do? Why is everyone talking about it? And how could this moment shape the future of Sweden's monarchy? In this full, exclusive documentary report, we take you behind the palace walls, through the history books, and deep into the corridors of power to unpack the moment the world fell in love, all over again, with Princess Estelle. Princess Estelle Sylvia Eva Mary of Sweden, a name that, until now, rang mostly through formal statements, sweet birthday portraits, and polite press releases. But all of that changed during a recent, high-profile royal engagement when Estelle emerged not just as a child of privilege, but as a symbol of modern monarchy reborn. She is just 13 years old, yet Princess Estelle's public appearance this past week has sparked headlines not just in Stockholm, but in Paris, London, Copenhagen, and even New York. Why? Because what she did, how she carried herself, what she said, and even what she wore, was a masterclass in royal presence. And yet it came completely unannounced. This was not meant to be her moment. But it became her moment. Estelle's royal calendar had only listed her as a possible attendee to the cultural ceremony at Drottningholm Palace, a formal event expected to be dominated by her mother, Crown Princess Victoria, and grandmother, Queen Sylvia. But as Sweden's royal watchers soon learned, Estelle wasn't content to simply watch from the sidelines anymore. As the orchestra played, dignitaries sat stiffly, and cameras swept the room. The grand doors opened. And there she stood, and the crowd, including some of the most seasoned royal journalists in Europe, leaned in. The surprise began with her entrance. The princess, dressed in a tailored blue dress subtly echoing the Swedish flag, walked in without the usual fanfare. No royal trumpets, no grand announcer, just Estelle, dignified and calm, holding a bouquet of forget-me-nots, her late great-grandmother Princess Sibylla's favorite flower. The symbolism was clear, and yet no one was prepared for what came next. Instead of simply taking her seat beside her brother, Prince Oscar, Estelle took to the stage. Yes, she stood before the gathered guests and delivered what royal insiders are now calling a breakthrough speech, entirely written by herself. The topic: what it means to be Swedish, for the next generation. In perfect, clear Swedish, and then, to the astonishment of international guests, in English and French, Estelle spoke about identity, hope, and carrying forward traditions in a changing world. And she did so with a composure that left even her mother momentarily stunned. Crown Princess Victoria was seen visibly blinking back tears. Queen Sylvia whispered something to King Carl XVI Gustaf, who nodded gravely, clearly moved. And across social media, within moments of Estelle's speech ending, the hashtags #EstelleSurprise, #YoungQueenEnergy, and #SwedishSpark trended in dozens of countries. So why did this seemingly small act of royal initiative cause such a stir? It's not every day that a royal child upstages their parents. And it's almost unheard of for a teenage heir to deliver a speech, in multiple languages, that addresses issues like environmental stewardship, gender equality, and cultural identity. Yet that's precisely what Estelle did. Observers noted how she referenced young Greta Thunberg, how she paid tribute to Sami culture, and how she emphasized the importance of honoring the past while shaping the future. Estelle wasn't just speaking from a script, she was shaping a narrative. This was more than a surprise. It was a strategic, meaningful debut into the public consciousness. And suddenly, all of Europe was paying attention. Even Princess Ingrid Alexandra of Norway reportedly texted a congratulatory message to Estelle, according to royal sources. Prince Christian of Denmark liked a Swedish royal Instagram post showing her photo. It wasn't just the public watching. It was the next generation of royals, acknowledging one of their own stepping into the spotlight. To understand the full impact of Estelle's surprise appearance, we must rewind, and ask, who is this future queen, really? Born on February 23, 2012, At Karolinska University Hospital in Solna, Estelle Sylvia Eva Mary was greeted with joy across Sweden. Named after her great-grandmother and godmother, she represented a modern monarchy from the beginning. Her parents, Crown Princess Victoria and Prince Daniel, chose to raise her in as close to a normal, royal upbringing as possible. She attended preschool with children from a variety of backgrounds. She's known to be cheerful, curious, and fiercely intelligent, with a love of dance and languages. But behind closed palace doors, she has also been educated in statecraft. According to royal insiders, Estelle receives private mentoring on Swedish constitutional law, cultural history, and even public speaking techniques. This has always been a quiet part of her education, until now. What the public saw this week was not an accident. It was a glimpse of the future Queen of Sweden. And that glimpse revealed that she is not just ready, she's remarkable. As the speech circulated across social media, international royal houses responded with quiet admiration. In the UK, Princess Charlotte was reportedly shown Estelle's speech by Princess Catherine, and according to one British journalist, Charlotte lit up. Belgian and Dutch royal correspondents posted lengthy praise of Estelle's composure and called her a model of the modern European princess. Even royal critics, normally skeptical of hereditary power, acknowledged the authenticity of Estelle's words. The Guardian published a headline, "Sweden's next queen already leading with grace." And the Times of London wrote, "Estelle of Sweden proves that Gen Alpha can hold a crown and a conversation." In Paris, one morning show even compared her debut to the elegance of a young Princess Diana. Suddenly, the world wasn't just talking about Princess Estelle. They were seeing her. In a surprising move, the Swedish royal court released no formal statement about Estelle's performance. No applause, no official transcript, just a brief caption beneath her photo on the royal Instagram, "A proud moment for our family." But those 6 words said everything. According to palace insiders, this was a deliberate strategy. Let the world talk, let Estelle shine. This approach mirrors how Crown Princess Victoria was introduced to the world, through meaningful public service rather than media spectacle. Yet Estelle's generation lives in a very different world. One where TikTok trends, global movements, and AI-generated headlines dominate the cultural space. And in this world, Estelle's voice felt not only fresh, but necessary. When a royal speaks, it's rarely without purpose. And when a royal heir speaks, especially at just 13 years old, the world listens even more closely. But what did Princess Estelle really say in her stunning, multilingual address? Was this just a well-rehearsed moment of royal pageantry, or something much more significant? In this chapter of our exclusive royal report, we break down the words that are already being studied by experts in monarchy, diplomacy, and even youth leadership. Because Princess Estelle's message was not just a surprise, it was a signal. A signal of Sweden's future, her own beliefs, and a very deliberate step forward by the royal house. While the royal court hasn't released an official transcript, multiple journalists in attendance, including reputable outlets like Dagens Nyheter and Svenska Dagbladet, captured the essence of the speech, and we've reconstructed key excerpts based on their detailed reporting. Jag står här idag inte bara som en prinsessa, utan som en flicka I Sverige, med hopp för framtiden. I stand here today not only as a princess but as a girl in Sweden, with hope for the future. With this opening, Estelle immediately reframed the moment. She wasn't speaking from her title. She was speaking as a child of Sweden. And that tone carried through every word that followed. Var culture är inte bara historia, den är levande. Den är vara språk, vara sänger, vara skogar, och var vanlig. Our culture is not just history, it is alive. It is our languages, our songs, our forests, and our kindness. Jag vill växa upp I ett land där isarna fortfarande nastrar och där faglarna sjunger på varen. Jag vill gå med basta för att bevara det. I want to grow up in a land where the ice still sparkles and the birds still sing in spring. I want to do my best to preserve it. Mina vänner är poker och flickor, från olika platser. Alla vill bli hårda. Jag tror att vi alla har något att saga, och oavsett vem vi är. My friends are boys and girls, from different places. We all want to be heard. I believe we all have something to say, no matter who we are. And then, in both English and French, she closed with a declaration. being royal is not just about crowns and castles. It's about care, connection, and courage. The audience gave a standing ovation. Estelle's use of Swedish, English, and French wasn't just charming. It was deeply strategic. Swedish royal historian Carl Magnus Halen noted in an interview with Sveriges Television that multilingualism has long been used as a form of soft diplomacy. When a royal speaks your language, they speak to your heart, he explained. By addressing the crowd in the languages of diplomacy, Estelle was reaching far beyond Sweden's borders. English connected her with a global audience, from the United States to the Commonwealth. French, often used at international royal galas and European Union events, signaled her readiness to represent Sweden on the world stage. And of course, Swedish, her native tongue, grounded her firmly in the country she will one day serve. Each language was flawlessly spoken, with confidence and clarity. And each one delivered a key message. Estelle is not just a princess. She's already a diplomat in the making. What's just as fascinating as what was said, is what wasn't said by the royal court. There were no official press conferences following the speech. No public interviews. No behind-the-scenes Instagram stories. Just a few carefully chosen photos and one elegant caption. A proud moment for our family. This silence was not accidental. According to royal analysts, this may have been an intentional move by Crown Princess Victoria and Prince Daniel to let Estelle's actions speak for themselves, and to build public trust through authenticity, not compare this to how other European royals often amplify youth engagements with press coverage. The Swedish approach was far more subtle, and therefore, more powerful. The strategy: let the moment breathe, let the people decide what it means. And judging by the outpouring of admiration online, it worked. While there has been no official quote from Estelle's parents, several Swedish media outlets reported on the visible reactions of Crown Princess Victoria and Prince Daniel during the event. Victoria, a seasoned speaker herself, appeared emotional and visibly stunned when Estelle began speaking in English. She was later seen embracing her daughter during the reception. Prince Daniel, usually reserved in public, reportedly told one guest. "She wrote it herself. She insisted. And we couldn't be prouder." Queen Sylvia, who has long advocated for children's rights and education, was said to have called the moment a sign of the times. King Carl XVI Gustaf, who has served as monarch for over 50 years, reportedly told his grandson Prince Oscar, "That's what queens do." It was a powerful acknowledgement from the reigning king, and a quiet passing of the torch. Estelle's bold move shouldn't surprise those familiar with her royal lineage. The Bernadotte dynasty, especially in recent generations, has been marked by powerful female leadership. Queen Sylvia, her grandmother, carved out a unique space for herself as a human rights advocate and cultural ambassador. Crown Princess Victoria, her mother, broke centuries of male succession to become Sweden's first female heir apparent. Her personal struggles, including with dyslexia and an eating disorder, made her a relatable and resilient figure. Now, Estelle is building on that legacy, with her own voice, her own mind, and her own sense of purpose. There's something generational here, something changing. Royal watchers have already begun calling it the Estelle effect. Estelle's appearance may have been brief, but its impact will be long-lasting. Swedish youth forums and school groups have been circulating the speech as part of cultural and civic education programs. International media outlets are requesting exclusive interviews with the young princess, though the palace is reportedly declining all press for now. Estelle's popularity has skyrocketed. Polls show an 85% approval rating for the young royal, higher than any Swedish royal under the age of 40. Swedish designer Sarah Lundström, who created Estelle's outfit, reported a 400% increase in traffic to her boutique overnight. But more than fashion or fame, what Estelle did was something far rarer. She made the monarchy feel relevant again, not through ceremony, but through sincerity. Thanks for watching, and please don't forget to subscribe.